You guys sound good already. Oh, we can do it on. Yeah, definitely. Okay. What are we doing first? Let's see.
I'm center of creation.
Center of creation, right. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces. Another beautiful Sunday morning to be together. Sarah, and this is Doug, and we're going to start you with a couple of songs. I invite you to stand if that's comfortable. Yeah, let's sing. Okay, so let's see. Can you get them kind of going?
I'll try.
I'll try. Whatever.
I am the center of creation. I am a seed planted in stillness. I am the center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am the center of creation. I am a tree rooted in fullness. I am the center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am the center of creation. I am complete, living in wholeness. I am the center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am the center of creation. I am a seed planted in stillness. I am the center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God.
Just keep going.
We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in love. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in love. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in love. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in love. Love, 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 joined together, together in love. Love, 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 joined together, together in love.
Let's pick it up a minute.
We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in joy. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in joy. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in joy. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in joy. Joy, 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 joined together, together in joy. Joy, 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 joined together, together in joy. We are sisters, joined together in peace. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in peace. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in peace. We are brothers, we are sisters, joined together in peace. Peace, 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 joined together, together in peace. Peace, 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 joined together, together in peace.
Nice, you guys.
Make some good noise
got rhythm
this morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in the heart of Las Cruces, where our vision is a world in loving partnership for the good of all. I'm Reverend Bonnie, the community spiritual leader, and it's so good to be back up on the platform. Yay, thank you. Welcome to anyone visiting for the first time. Please, I hope you were handed a packet. I think I saw the packets were being handed out. Welcome. So good to have you here. There is a gift certificate to the bookstore in there. And if you fill out the little slip on the front, you'll let us know how you found us, and you can get our weekly newsletter, which I will encourage all of you, if you're getting it, to be sure to open it and look through it and see what all's happening. So our metaphysical fair was a huge success yesterday. Thanks to everyone who participated in that. It was fun, and we're looking toward probably spring equinox for the next one. So if you're interested in having a booth or at least being sure to come, that's going to be our goal for the next one. And today after the service is our September board meeting, and those meetings are always open. I know you can't wait to join a board meeting, so you're welcome to be with us around 12:30 if you'd like to stay. And this Thursday is the World Day of Prayer that Unity is hosting right here in this room. And so if you would like to come, you can either participate. We have a sign-up sheet in the office if you want to lead a prayer, or you can just come and sit in prayer with them, and there'll be different people leading about every hour or so a prayer, and then sitting in silence to support the world peace around the world. So we're not the only ones doing it. This is something that's going on around the world. And then Saturday, the 21st at 2 o'clock is when we will be celebrating the life of Reverend Pat Conway. It'll be here again at the center. There will be a reception to follow. So if you could bring finger food to share with people, that would be great. And Catherine has said and asked that in place of flowers, make a donation to the Mesilla Valley Hospice, or bring a backpack full of school supplies. She's going to take them to the high school and donate them in her mom's name, in Pat's name, since Pat was a teacher for 30 years. So those are the two things you can do if you'd like to contribute. And then we're aiming for our fall treasure sale already, October 26th. We'll be doing that, and we'll start collecting the beginning of October. So gather your stuff at home, but hold on to it till the beginning of October. And then in November, we're going to have our art, bake, and craft sale. We've added a few things because the bake sale went really well. So art, craft, and bake sale, and Deb back there in the corner is coordinating that. So if you want to bring something, let her know so she gets a feel for what's happening on that day, November 16th. And then I have certificates from not this past class, but the one before, and I want to hand them out. This was the mystical path. So, Will, come on up. Oh, wait, William Barron, that's Bill, not Will. And he's not here. We were hoping he'd be here. Carrie, where are you? I know you're here. Carrie, she's back in the... Okay, well, this is going over really well. Karen Boyer, I know you're here. Come on and get your certificate. And Sarah Benson. And Bridget was in the class also, but she wasn't able to be here today. Come on up. Come on up. Yeah, we put it, you get to be in the newsletter too. You get your picture. Okay, I saw Will, and that was as far as I got. Carrie might want to, well, we'll just get her after the service if we need to. There we are. It was wonderful. Good class. And we just finished up this one class, so we'll have more certificates coming down the line. All right, at this time, please welcome our platform assistant, Teresa.
Can I have the, just because I want to follow the format. You know me. I'll just start talking about anything and everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa Valenzuela, and I am a practitioner here with the Centers for Spiritual Living. And I asked Bonnie if I could make the next announcement. So Pride on the Plaza is Saturday, October 5th. And CSL has had tables there for I don't know how many years, but way before COVID. And so I've offered to help facilitate that, but I can't do it alone. I need some volunteers. And so I made this beautiful Love Wins volunteer sheet, me and Canva. And so if you would please stop by and sign up. We're going to need a truck to help us get stuff down there at 1 o'clock. And then at 10 p.m. it closes up, so we need a truck to bring stuff back. Wisdom Through the Pages will have a table and items for sale, and CSL will have a table to have information about the center. So we need some help during the festival itself. So don't worry, I have more copies. And so we have enough for 28 people to sign up. And I'm expecting, while I'm in Spain, that there'll be 50 people who sign up. I cannot do it alone. I know last year someone did it almost by herself, not quite, but I really need your help. And so does Pride on the Plaza. So the meditation today reminds us that to be in peace, we also have to take action. It's not enough for me to come to service on Sundays or to do treatment. I need to be out in the community showing people what CSL in the Heart of Las Cruces actually stands for, and that's inclusivity of all. So that's the little speech that I have to give. How about volunteering? Make sure I don't have anything else. Okay. But even more importantly than volunteering at the Pride in the Plaza is that we believe here in this philosophy of the power of prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. And there are prayer request forms right in the back, the chair backs. Please let us know how we can pray with you, how we can work with you to shift the energy around your life. The New Thought churches here in Las Cruces meet on Tuesday afternoons, ministers and practitioners, and we pray with you. And I'll tell you, lots of things have shifted because of some prayer groups, right, Lisa? You do Power of 8 on Mondays. So that's what we're here to help you with. And afterwards, we have some practitioners who are wearing their stoles who will be up here to do a prayer treatment with you and to start getting that shift and flow into your life. There's also a gratitude card in the chair backs. We want to know how prayer has been answered in your life. And even just in this week, I've heard of stories, we call them God stories in my house, of how the energy has shifted and people not even knowing what they needed shifted in their life. It has shifted and it has been good. So we'd like to hear that from you. And now it is time for song, silence, and prayer.
I would listen to a talk this week about releasing anxiety, and it had a bunch of helpful practices, and so I'm going to do one with you guys this morning since our topic is peace. The way it works is you start with your thumb and index finger, and we'll say the word peace on that, and then thumb, middle finger begins with ring finger with me. So peace begins with me. And if you are comfortable, say it out loud. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. And then I'm going to sing it. You're welcome to sing with me or just use the words, but keep your fingers going. We'll see how that feels. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace, peace, sweet peace. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace, peace, sweet peace, peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace, peace, sweet peace, peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace, peace, sweet peace, peace begins with me. Peace begins with me.
Peace begins with me. Peace, peace, sweet peace. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. And grounding myself in that space of gratitude, knowing that within me, within each and every one of us, we have all we need to allow peace and love, forgiveness and compassion to radiate out, that and so much more. And so we know this morning has already been blessed. We woke up breathing and maybe taking a deep breath out, catching our breath. And here we are. Here we are today to bless not only our lives, but the lives of people around us. And that radiates out into our community, into the world. That energy of peace begins with me. And so grateful for Reverend Bonnie, our music ministry, our tech head honcho, and all of you that made time to come here to the room or on Zoom, or who will be listening throughout the week and the months and even the years to come with the video on YouTube. For this work continues, this wisdom continues. There is no stopping the infinite goodness of love. Love wins each and every time. And so just knowing that in our hearts and allowing that to radiate out and knowing that it is all good and it is all God. And I invite all of us to say together, and so it is. Thank you. So for the reading today, I didn't ask the speaker, but I'm going to do a reading. What came to mind is we talk a lot about peace, and we talk about the global vision that CSL has created with many hearts and minds. And it reminded me of this book that I read 2 years ago, Ordinary Goodness, and it's by Reverend Edward Vion, who was our spiritual leader 2 years ago. An amazing person, But one of his homework, you'd love this book, Will, because there's something to do after each chapter. So, but one of the homework assignments was to write your own personal kindness manifesto, and I did that. And then in Charleston, we got to meet Reverend Elijah Christopher, who's the minister at CSL Santa Cruz, who is not like a minister that I saw the first time I went to Salt Lake City, CSL conference, but the heart, right? The heart of what CSL is becoming, is evolving into. And he has written his commitment, their commitment to the CSL Global Vision, and had shared that on csl.org. And I thought today what I would share with you is CSL Global Vision, to remind us of what our home office, right? It's not just one person or one group. We are one heart, one mind, have put together to remind us what our global vision is. We envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God. We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. A world where each and every person discovers their own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship, where all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. We envision a world where each and every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging. A world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement, and justice. We envision a world in which resources are valued, cared for, and grown, and where there is generous and continuous sharing of these resources. We envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. We envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. And that is what I know today. I invite you to join me on that journey. And so it is.
Okay, the song is called God Is All There Is. It's by Ricky Byers and Michael Beckwith. And please sing along on the chorus if you'd like.
My wings were heavy, I could not fly. All did my dreams that were meant to come true. Love was there, I could not see it, till the voice of salvation came shining through you. And you said, God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. In the sky of my mind, where lightning and thunder, I never could trust it would finally be right. The truth in your eyes said, don't worry, don't wonder. You gave me a song that has shattered the lie. And you said, God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. And like a shepherd, you pulled me through. When my heart was troubled, I didn't know what to do. Your compassion planted a seed in my life. Now it flowers in me. And all the time I'm singing, all the time I'm singing. Whoa. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. So if your wings are heavy, you cannot fly. Altered my dreams that were meant to come true. God is right there, you just have to see it. Let the voice of salvation come shining through you. And just sing, God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will me. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be.
One heart, one mind. Thank you so much. All the songs always fit perfect. And so I get to introduce the speaker today. I'll try to do that without crying. So some of you might remember that in December of 2007, Kathleen dragged me in here to listen to Terry Cole Whitaker. And Mother's Day of 2008, my children joined me at service because we had made a pact some years before that, 10 years before that. Reverend Bonnie, at that time, was the guest speaker. Yeah. And afterward, they got, my kids got their gift pack. Be sure you get your little gift package, Caitlin. And when we were in the car, I asked Dorian, so what do you think? What do you think about the church? And they were all three of my kids were happy that it was not Scientology. And he said, well, I guess it's good for you, but I'm not sure about me. And this is how Spirit works, right? So he went back to ASU, and a couple of weeks later or so, time is strange in my life today, but a friend, a buddy of his that he had made friends with, had something in his, they all wear shorts in Phoenix, in his cargo shorts in the pocket, and it was a Science and Mind magazine. And if I remember the story correctly, which I probably don't, Dorian said, hey, so what do you know about that place? Because my mom took me to some place like that. And his journey at New Visions CSL began, where he took classes and learned more. So he didn't need a mom to tell him how this philosophy and growing spiritually can absolutely change your life. He learned that on his own, right? But he is here to speak today. And it does say in your bio that you were introduced to religious science here in this room. But more so, what I've seen of you is the service that you've done in recovery, that you did in the jail, where they were keeping asylum seekers. You became very good friends with a handful of men from Africa who came on that journey all the way to get to America. And so you do not teach me by talking to me, you teach me by showing me what I can do to make a difference in the world. And I'm so blessed to have two daughters also who do that, and who have very strict boundaries around what mom can do. But it's not about being a mom, it's about being one with them in their hearts and in what they do in the world, more than I can say. So, Dorian, the stage is yours.
Do I need to mess with this, or should I leave it?
Bring a little bit, just bring it up. There you go. Well,
Like that? Coming in loud and clear? All righty. Let me get my stuff. So today, thank you, Mom, for that introduction. Thank you for asking me to speak, Bonnie. Thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. So the topic for September is pieces into peace. And so as I was getting ready for this, I was trying to think of that, that word pieces, right? And just sort of meditating or contemplating and just sort of rolling it around in my head. And the one thing that came to mind was like this idea of puzzle pieces. For some reason, popped in my mind, and so we'll get a little bit more. But so the title of my talk, I guess, is Puzzle Pieces. And I listened to Bonnie's talk last week, and it's called to pieces or falling into place. And I really like that because in my mind and through writing this and getting ready for today, the idea of the universe conspiring for you or for us kept coming to mind. And this idea of the universe conspiring for our greatest good. And the one thing that really jumped out to me in last week's talk was this show, The Midwives. Am I remembering that correctly? I've never seen it. If that might be a shocker to some people, but I have not watched that show. But a quote that came from that show: "You just keep living until you feel alive again." Really, that popped for me. And I think this idea of like being in pieces or being like feeling like you're not whole or yourself. I think a lot of time we associate that with a trauma or a grief or something of that nature. But it can sometimes just be like the mundane of life, the malaise of life, like just waking up and things are not good, things are not bad, it's just another day, right? And we kind of shrug and like, all right, I guess we're doing this again. And going into life and like having that idea, like that feeling of being in pieces, but not in any kind of major, there's nothing you can really point to in any sort of major way. And so, funny enough, I was going to use this as an example, and then like the picture they use on the screen or like on the website is actually from this wedding I went to. So November 20 of 2022, I went to this wedding in Philadelphia. And one of the things I like to do for I've only been to a couple, but for bachelor parties is I like to go get what I'm going to wear at a thrift store. Like I don't take it with me. I just like, all right, I'll figure it out when I get there. And so I was at this thrift store, and it's a relatively famous one. It didn't come through. It's Philadelphia. It's a Philadelphia thrift store, and it's specifically their mission is to help people who have HIV or AIDS. So all the funds they get from that is directed towards that. So while I'm at this thrift store, I find this puzzle. It's Where's Waldo? I don't know if anyone remembers Where Waldo stuff. When I was a little kid, the three things I loved the most was dinosaurs, Ninja Turtles, and Where's Waldo. And growing up, I had this puzzle. I never did it though. It always sat in the like where the games were and stuff, and I never touched it. And I know it was a gift to me at some point because I was the one like obsessed with Waldo. So at the thrift store, I saw this, and little Dorian was like, "Hey man, you need to get that." Thinking probably it was just going to sit on a shelf again, and I was never going to touch it, right? Like I don't even do puzzles. Like I'm not, a lot of people like do puzzles as a hobby. That's not me. But I don't know if it was nostalgia or whatever else came over me, and the price tag is still on it. It was $1.99, so it didn't break the bank, and it made it back from Philly. So with that is sort of this idea of puzzles. Last time I spoke here was February 18th, 2024. My topic was connecting the dots. My life is unfolding in divine order. That was part of the meditation that before I spoke. And while putting this together, we think of our life in a very linear way, just because I think it's easier to comprehend it that way. But really, truly, in my short time on this planet, it's not really linear. It feels more like putting together a puzzle and finding, whether you're finding the edges first, or like in this one, because there's so much similarity, you're looking for the big green guy in the middle or the giant, in the different colors. And you're kind of putting together this thing in bits and pieces as you go. And I started doing this puzzle, and because I can be grandiose about things, I was like taking pictures as I made progress because I wanted to do this time lapse. The time lapse does not exist. The pictures still do though. And so I was like, oh, I wonder when I started that puzzle. Like I wonder what time frame I started that puzzle. And exactly a year prior. So I spoke February 18th, 2024. February 18th, 2023 was the first picture I had taken of having dumped out this puzzle on a table and starting it. Literally a year prior, I had started doing this puzzle. And I was like, oh man, that's just like, I love those sorts of things. Like it's just, we call them coincidences or God stories or whatever else. So with all that being said, the story I want to share today, I drew a little puzzle on my talking notes because I want to make it a little bit interactive today. There's a great film director, storyteller, and sometimes his stories jump around, and you got to follow it. It all comes together at the end, right? And so this morning, I would like to ask the crowd, pick a number between 1 and 8. 4? All right, 4. What is 4? Well, that's the end of the story. So remember this part as the rest of it gets tied in. A very good buddy of mine has a business in Arizona, and I've been helping him with some stuff over the last several years. You'll figure out the years here in a little bit. And over the last week, I've been sort of negotiating this idea of joining him on a new adventure that may or may not be unfolding there in Phoenix. So another number between 1 and 8, not counting 4. 7. All right. So last week, or 2 weeks ago, or maybe it's even 3 weeks ago then, recently, a different friend of mine had asked me he was telling me he was moving to Boise. He lived in Ruidoso and had been affected by the terrible fires and floods up there. And he had actually been affected minimally compared to some of the other people. But him and his wife decided, having 2 small children, they were ready to go see something else, go on a new adventure. And I'd offered to help. When he first told me about it, I'd offered to help him to move. But then something came up in my life where I could not help him. So that is, we'll put a pin in that, helping the buddy move to Boise. So now 4 and 7 are gone. What's next? 3. All righty. The Boise story continues. So I drove here 2 Sundays ago up to Ruidoso. It was the 25th. Helped my buddy pack a U-Haul in his van. We left the next morning. We drove from Ruidoso to Moab. I had never been to Utah at all, and especially Moab. And we got there right about sundown, and the sun setting and lighting up those mountains was unbelievable. It was one of the most beautiful things I had seen in a long time. The next day, we were boom, boom, boom. The next day we went to Moab to Boise. The next day we unloaded the U-Haul in his van into a storage unit. And the next day we flew back here. But the point of the important part of this story is the wonder and wandering and how much I love that in my life. I am very much a wanderer. I've lived all over the place. I spent 6 years in the Navy. That took me all over the world. I've shared a story here about going to Europe for 3 months and like having an experience there. And it just ignited this wander and this wondering that lives innately in my body. That's what I've realized at this point in my life. Like, it's not going away. All right, 3, 4, and 7 are gone. What's next? 1. Number 1. We're going back to the original friend that I spoke about at the ending that began this story. This particular friend I met in Arizona. I went to ASU. I went to school there. I went to university there. And me and him became fast friends. I met him in 2008. We stayed friends for the 4 years I was there. We actually were roommates at 2 different times during that time. And we became super close. I do bookkeeping as a living to pay the bills. This is what I love doing, though. So once again, thank you. So 2019, I started doing bookkeeping for a business him and this other guy had started. And then when the pandemic happened, the lockdown happened, they're in cinematography. So they shoot movies and commercials and documentaries, and all that shut down. And so they no longer really needed a bookkeeper, and they could just do it themselves. But 2022 rolls around, and they had gotten busy once again. And so I was doing something else for a living. I was ready to break out on my own. And so those were the first two guys I reached out to. Well, Aiden and his partner in business were the first two guys I reached out to see if they wanted me to come back on and do their bookkeeping. So the point of that is the guy I mentioned at the beginning of the story, I've known him for a very long time. And that puzzle piece was laid 16, 17 years ago, 15 years ago. All right, we got 5, 2, 6, and 8 left. 8. September 2nd, which was Monday, I believe. September 2nd, Monday, someone that works with my buddy that I just mentioned put in their 2 weeks, and this person has made leaps and bounds in in my friend's business of organizing and getting things good to go with being able to have clients be paid, things of this nature. And she's just played an amazing role. And they don't have anyone lined up to take her place. And I was worried that they were going to lose all that information and organization that has gained over the last year and made leaps and bounds. And so I reached out to my friend and said, hey, what is your plan for this? And he was like, well, hopefully it's you. And I said, well, I can come out for 2 weeks and at least learn what this person has put into place, and so we can keep that rolling. So that was Monday, less than a week ago. 2, 5, and 6. 2, August 21st. Bonnie texts me, says, hey, would you like to speak? And I always like to speak, and she gave me 2 dates. One of them was today. The other one was 2 weeks from now. Had I picked the 2 weeks from now, you guys would know the real ending to this story. What was the famous Paul Harvey? And that is the rest of the story. Unfortunately, you're getting the front half of the story. I'll have to share the rest of the story at another time. So thank you, Bonnie, for that text. 5 and 6. I heard both of them. Well, it's funny because these two are the most connected that it played out that way. So I'll just do them in chronological order. It seemed as though I was having some certain health issues over the last 6 months. And so I was under the impression that I was going to need surgery. So August 20th, the day before Bonnie had reached out to me, I reached out to find out what I needed to do for this surgery, which I thought was happening 2 days later. And during that conversation, they said, oh, no, this is just a consultation. And the consultation was in El Paso. And then come to find out, there might be multiple consultations after that. And I was super frustrated because I had already consulted with 2 other doctors that were like, yeah, this is what needs to happen. And so I was like, to say I was frustrated it all worked out, obviously. But that Tuesday, I was extremely frustrated. So fast forward 2 days, and I go in for this consultation, which I almost canceled. I was so frustrated with it. I was like, well, I'll just cancel this and kick it down the path. But I went, showed up for my appointment and sat down with the surgeon. We started talking and going over things. And he turns to me, and he doesn't turn to me, but he's like, you can tell he's like slow rolling something. It's like he's talking around things and this and that, and he gets to the punchline of the story and says, we can do surgery, but it might make things worse than what it is. You don't actually need surgery. And there's no, and he's like, there's no restrictions, like just go live life. You know what I mean? And so had that conversation not happened, I would not have, so I was not able to originally help my friend move because I thought I was having the surgery 2 days before he was going to leave town. But after that surgery, I texted him, and I'm going to read an edited version of our conversation, to say the least. So I told him, no surgery. He said, that's good. I said, 100%. Now it's time to road trip and move S. You can guess what S was. He said, I'll take it easy on you, nothing too heavy. Just bring your light duty slip. And I said, I tried to get one and the surgeon told me no. He said, no malingering, you Navy guys. And so I was able to like jump in the van with this buddy. And part of thinking I had surgery, I'd gotten way ahead on my work. And so I was able to like fully be present with this friend, have an amazing 4 days of helping this guy move. And that during that trip, getting that wonder back in, being reminded of that, sort of put my antenna of what's the next adventure. And so literally after I finish today, I'm going to go home and finish packing. I'm hitting the road this afternoon to head to Arizona to go spend 2 weeks, maybe permanently, maybe it's just a 2-week bridge to help my friends, but it's the next adventure, right? It's the next thing that might get me to that place where we talked about earlier. You just keep living until you feel alive again, And so to wrap all this up, the universe is conspiring for you. The universe is conspiring for us. And you might think like, oh, that's cute with the puzzle and the little puzzle drawing, but what does that mean? Like that, how is that applicable to anyone's real life? A different friend, not one that I've mentioned of the three I've already mentioned before, called me this week, and his father's been struggling with some health stuff, possibly needing an organ transplant, and it's been an ongoing thing for the last like 6 or 8 months, and if he gets the transplant, it'll be in Houston, and it just so happens that my friend's father, they lived in Alaska, and there was these 4 couples that had gotten very close during their time in Alaska 52 years ago. And those couples have all stayed friends over the years. And as this was all unfolding and the health concerns were unfolding, they had lost connection and then regained connection. And through that, learned that one of these couples actually lives just north of Houston. So there's a place for my friend's dad to stay before the possible surgery, and to stay afterwards when he's convalescing, because he has to stay within a certain time frame or a certain distance of the hospital. He can't come back to Las Cruces right away because this is where he lives. And my friend's dad reminded him of this, and I think it's beautifully said. Don't let your short-sightedness get in the way of God's long-term plans. Because I know I can sabotage myself because of certain short-sightedness that I have about a situation, about a person, about a group of people, and so don't let your short-sightedness get in the way of God's long-term plans. And that translates to me that the universe is conspiring for all of us, for our highest good. So thank you all.
I can do it. That was perfect. Beautiful. Wonder and wonder. And just not knowing what today that seems insignificant, how significant it could be down the line. That's the piece of the puzzle that we're going to need down the line. So practitioners and anyone who wants to add their energy to this room and this prayer, please surround the room. Everybody else absorb and just take in and receive. It's a flow between all of us as we take that beautifully presented puzzle of life to heart. So we just go within and just take a moment to think about the different pieces of the puzzle of your life. What things happened that you didn't realize were going to be significant and then showed up later as significant? And just knowing that so far, that's the way life has unfolded. Pieces of a puzzle that come together, the foreshadowing that we don't even know is a foreshadow of what is yet to be. And so in our short-sightedness, when that shows up, to remember there is a longer vision, a greater vision. And as Teresa reminded us, there's a global vision that our center holds. And so as we hold these larger visions of peace, of truth, of love in the world, we know that Spirit is moving in and through each one of us. We are each a piece of the puzzle that creates that global vision. And each day, each interaction is a significant piece as well. So I'm grateful for Dorian. I just know that as he goes off on his next adventure, it is perfect, and we can't wait to hear from him when he's back in Las Cruces, to hear the rest of the story, or a piece of the rest of the story. And so in gratitude, we give thanks for all those pieces of the puzzle that have showed up in our lives, everything that has brought us to be here right now, this moment, today, hearing these words, knowing that it's significant, and it is something we will remember some point down the line in our life. And so we just release these words, knowing this truth, knowing that the universe is conspiring for our greatest and best. We just allow it to unfold, and all the pieces fall into place, and so it is.
Stay. And continuing the peace theme, this song is called Peace Return to Me. This is one of our favorites. It feels really good to sing it. It's by Sue Riley. When I'm feeling far from home, peace return to me. In the chaos of the storm, peace return to me. When I feel I'm all alone, peace return to me. When it seems I can't go on, peace returns to me. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. In the heart of everything. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace return to me. When I feel I'm not enough, peace return to me. When I'm ruled by fear and not by love, peace return to me. When forgiveness can't be found, peace return to me. When I'm standing on unsteady ground, peace return to me. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. In the heart of everything. Peace be still. Peace be still. Peace be still. Oh, peace be still. Peace return to me.
Peace return to me. To me.
Beautiful. Perfect. Thank you. And so as we ask, where's Waldo, I think we're going to be asking, where's Dorian? And we'll find out the next time he's in town where he's been. So thank you again. That was beautiful. Thank you. Oh, I love hearing the adventures, and I'm already thinking of my next talk for next week. I'm like, ooh, that's a good idea. And I love the way it was presented today. Thank you. That was fun. So now is that opportunity that we have to give back to the center. And we have started trying to pass the plate. If we can have 2 people volunteer to go to the back and get that ready for us. This month, the recipient of 10% of all that comes through the center is the Las Cruces Public Schools Foundation. What a perfect thing to be doing this month, and we also celebrate Pat Conway's life as a teacher, and we'll be providing to the schools in that way as well. This foundation is a private nonprofit corporation that exists for the sole purpose of attracting and managing private gift and project funds to enhance and enrich the educational experiences of the students of the Las Cruces Public Schools. And there's more if you want to learn about them on the website. So as you come forward, let's just hold your offering. Remember to put a blessing in the plate, even if you have nothing to put in the plate. And let's say it together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, in me. And we'll sing, I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I feel blessed for all of the pieces of the puzzle in my life. I hope you feel blessed as well. Thank you for sharing, and this is a wonderful place to come together and give through the center out into our community. So we just know that all that comes in is an abundant flow of the outpouring of spirit support for the center and for the love that we take into our larger Las Cruces community. I'm grateful for everyone present and all that flows through us in that form of what we call money as abundance, and that is largely support and love, and so it is. Thank you. What are we closing out with?
Go out and shine.
Go out and shine.
Yeah,
That's
grab your
perfect. Get your music.
grab your
full with
percussion.
noises.
Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Oh, go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. Come on and go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine.
Thank you, Dorian, again. And remember, practitioners are here to pray with you and support you in shining that light. Take care and have a wonderful week.